no matter how many times you shower, you can't get the nasty feeling out. Like I felt so disgusting, and it was just so dark. I've never felt such darkness like that. It really truly felt like there was a dark cloud hovering over me. Like, so that following that day turned into like a whole day, because remember it happened like 3, 4 a.m. So I went home, I showered. However, I try to go about my day as if everything was normal. That was the only way I knew how to survive, because if I started, I don't know, that's just how I went about it. I got to the gym, and the front desk receptionist knew immediately something was up with me. And because I come in, greeting her all the time, and she goes, "No, something's wrong here." Pulls me aside, goes, "Hey, well, what's going on? Are you okay? You don't look okay." And I just break down and I just spill. She's the first person I told. She goes, "Jamie, you were raped. You need to go to the police station." And I go, "No, no, no, no." I'm like,
Shout
I'm
out to that receptionist, by the way, because seriously, I'm only imagining. Sometimes we don't even think about the people that we encounter, right? Receptionists, people that we know every day, gym people, whoever that is. Oh my
mm,
God! So you had not sought out medical treatment yet
mm-mm.
until she said something to you.
She was like, "You need to go to the police station. You were raped. This is not okay. There is help and services that will be provided for you. I will take you myself. You need to go to the police."
Oh
And
my gosh!
I go, "No, no, 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 no. I'm worried. I'm worried about me. What if he gave me an STD? He didn't have a condom." And, all my concerns start coming out. And she goes, "Jamie, I know." She's like, and she's like, "Okay, well then let me take you to the hospital." And I go, "Please, like, I just need to go to the hospital. I need to know, I need to have the reassurance that like I didn't contract any sort of disease, from that." And it was eating me up. And I go, "No, it's okay. I'm gonna have my best friend take me," the one that was there that night, which means I would have to tell her too. And she goes, "Are you sure? Like, I can take you. We can go right now." And she goes, and I go, "You know what? I'll wait until the morning." It was at nighttime when I went to the gym. And she goes, "I can take you right now." Like, it was urgent. And I was just like, I felt so bad, like pouring out to her already. I didn't want her to like spend the whole entire night with me at the hospital. I mean, she was a good person, and I just felt, I was like, you know what? I need my best friend with me, because I just know her because of the gym. Anyway, I went ahead and called my best friend, the same girl that was there that night. Her name was, "This is what really went down. I really need you right now, and I need you to take me to the hospital." And she goes, like, shocked. And she comes, picks me up. We go to the hospital. And we're in Orange County, by the way. And we go to the hospital. I'm filling out paperwork, and I'm just like, I really need testing done. And like, I'm just like telling them that I need to see a doctor. Like, this is what happened to me. Someone forcefully, penetrated me. And that they were like, "Okay, we need you to fill all this out." I finally get to like an exam room, or back, where they have the patients and everything. And no doctor wanted to touch me. They were like, we cannot test you or anything. This, you were raped, so we need to have law enforcement come in and handle this first." And I go, like, "No, like, we'll deal with that after. Like, can you please take care of me? Can you please just give me like the reassurance that like everything's okay?" Like, I was just so desperate to know that like I was okay. I was like, we'll worry about that later. But what
Jamie, if
happened?
you need to take a break, just let me know, okay?
Okay, yeah,
Don't be afraid to say, hey, I need to take a break, okay?
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically, LAPD comes and they go ahead and start gathering evidence and begin like the whole investigation. They had a forensic nurse. She did all the testing and everything. Um, and so I went with her, and the testing was very thorough. They also had to stick another object inside of me. It was a camera. Um, and they had me also eventually give them my clothes. They picked that. I think the detectives picked that up. The clothes that I wore that night, I had to give them. Um, and with the nurse, the forensic nurse, when she shoved that camera inside, uh, I remember her telling me, "Yeah, there's some bruising and scratches like in your walls," and she also took photos of like my knees because they were bruised up, and took photos of like everything, like me naked, pretty much. I remember just feeling so exposed, but my best friend was there, thankfully, with me throughout the whole entire process. Um, they gathered all of that information and evidence, and then stated that I would be contacted by a detective. I
What
then,
is interesting, Jamie, let me stop you right there, is a lot of people have like this, like, because I know one thing you said to me, I want to tell my story, right? So people can learn and understand. People think that it's only semen that can convict someone, right? Like they don't even think about the walls being damaged or there being bruising or scratches. People don't ever really think about the damages inside. They just immediately assume, well, there's no semen, nothing happened to you, right? Immediately people go to that. So I wanted to kind of put that out there to say it's not just about seeming. There's damages that could happen to the wall, to you, right? Fit body wise. That semen is not a one and done when it comes to a rape kit. So I wanted to throw that out there.
mhm. Yeah, no, definitely. There's matching DNA evidence too. I believe for my clothing. Um,
Good. Okay.
yeah, maybe for my pants, but I didn't even know about this until the Rolling Stones article came out, and it stated that there was matching DNA evidence. And I know that I was one of the only girls, one of the only few girls that had a rape kit done, because a lot of the women didn't. And I went ahead and confirmed that that was me. And they were like, yeah, you and someone else. I was like, oh, wow. Like, so if they had all this information, then like what took so long to, you know what I mean? Why did so many women had to feel the pain that I had to feel and go through the trauma and such tragedy that I had to endure as well. Like why did so why was there so many people that had to go through so much pain? It's so crazy. But
Absolutely.
at the time, I was contacted by a detective. Two detectives came out to me. They had me identify him and everything. Like they had, a photo of him and like other people. I'm like, nope, this is him. And they went ahead and got like my statement again. Um, and I remember sending them a note from my iPhone because I didn't talk about it since like the hospital, and it was like within the same week, but I knew that I would kind of get stuck on some things and remember and start crying and just be really distracted. So I just like put it down in notes. I'm like, here. And they're like, oh, we need like a verbal statement too. Like, just basically like try not to like put so much emotion in it. Just tell us like the facts. Go.
That's hard. It's easier said than done. But they already had a picture of him. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, so they had
Wow.
yeah, they had me identify him, and they had like a photo of him when he was younger, and then a photo of him like, you know, in his early 20s, like an updated photo. Um I don't know. I mean, the younger photo, I'm thinking it was like maybe a passport or some sort of ID. I have no idea. I didn't know if he was in trouble with the law before or anything.
That's what I would assume because some of this is stretching from 2013, right? And your situation happened in 2015 before
Mhm.
you became, Superfly and Halle Berry and all this other stuff that was happening, right?
Mhm.
So when you said that, it kind of made me think they were watching him for quite some time.
Yeah. I mean, they I did give him his name because he put his name in my phone, and remember he gave me his social. Um I went ahead and gave gave him his full name because I was like, I looked him up, and then I was like, oh, his information is on the internet. Okay, whatever. Or his and I think I showed him the social that when he inserted it into my phone. I was like, this is, he followed himself. Like, this is what he looks like and stuff. But anyways, spoke to the detectives. And then they said, hey, thank you. We'll go ahead and reach out to you and we have an update. I go, okay. Then I'm like, I am thankful I don't have any STDs. I went ahead and did my part and reported it to the police. Now I can go ahead and go about my life and heal and just focus on me. Um, the detectives didn't contact me until much, much later, randomly. I would say actually maybe like a few months. I just remember them contacting me stating, hey, Jamie, here's an update. Basically, this investigation is still ongoing. We now have to travel out of state to interview more girls. Um, Basically, hang tight and we'll call you again for another update.
What
And
year was this?
huh?
What year was this when they gave you that update or that call from the detective?
So this this event happened to me in November of 2015. And I said that the detectives took a few months or so to contact me. So in 2016, it had been 2016 was when they gave me that update stating this investigation is now ongoing and we have to travel out of the state to interview more girls, 7 specifically.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So when I go, what? Like 7 girls? Like I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this guy is like a predator." Like he does this, I wouldn't say for a living, but like kind of like, he does this a lot. And at that point, I was just like, wow, like this is big. Like he's harmed so many girls and probably even more that they don't know of. And I was like, oh my gosh. But still, I was like, okay, work on you, because I had to overcome a lot of things. Um, so after those detectives, and they went out of town to do their thing, I never heard back from anyone until, so it wasn't last year. Okay. What was the year when he was released out of jail? I didn't even know he was in jail.
He
I
was
was
It had to have been, it was during COVID, right? So it was after sometime after
maybe
March 2021. And I'll look at that because I remember I saw that California signed something for people to be released early because of COVID. He happened to fall right through that. I don't know how, given his charges and the seriousness, but yeah, he qualified for a bond. That's what it was.
mhm. So okay, now I remember. So that year, when he was released, it was right, I think right before he was being released was when another detective reached out to me. It was a woman. Um, so am I allowed to say like what detective?
Regardless, I can blur out names, and I'll probably even when you said Vanessa, I'm gonna take her name out just in
Oh,
case.
okay, yeah.
But
Okay,
go
thank
ahead.
you. It was detective. I'm pretty sure you heard of her. So detective contacted me. I think it was like right before he was released from jail. It was like later on in the year. So it had been like I think close to November actually. Or like September, November area. I think it was November. Anyways, I get contacted. So this happened to me in 2015. The last I heard was 2016. Anyways, detective she goes ahead and contacts me, and she then states, you may or may not get subpoenaed. I just want to let you know and kind of let you know what your rights are. You have the right to not speak to anyone about this. You don't have to speak to like his lawyer or even us. It's entirely up to you. If you have any questions on who to speak to or just anything of that sort, just feel free to like call me back. And I was like, wait, like what's going on here? Like I don't understand. Subpoena for like what? And um then she starts telling me like, for trial, she's like, I don't know how, but your file just got lost in the archives somehow. And I came across it. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time, you may or may not get subpoenaed um, through his team, is what she was talking to me about, and how like I don't I don't have to speak to anyone from his side, like his attorney. And I go like, how do I know like who his attorney is and questions like that. And she went ahead and explained all of that. And after that phone call, I didn't hear anything again for a really long time until last
Wow.
year in June. I actually reached out to the current DA now because, again, my archive somehow got lost. Or not my archive, sorry. My file somehow got lost in archives again.
Wow. Had you so let's say so time goes by, right? When did you see Kaalan Walker again? Did you watch some I'm assuming you thought that was the last time you would ever see him, right? And then he does these movies, or like I guess that's the piece that you as a victim, how did you take seeing him in the bigger screen and people talking about him, and then all these rumors circulating about who he is and what he's done?
So I had no idea what was going on in social media. So after Detective Whitman, um, I think that's when I got on the internet and I started looking. But I really didn't think it was like the healthiest thing for me to do was to uh like read information. It was like a trigger for me at the time.
Because
Um
he didn't try contacting you anymore, right? Like there was no more contact after that incident or that crime happened.
oh no, I deleted his number, his social. After I gave it to the police, I deleted all of that. So I just remember his social at the time was WhoisKR, and that's it. And of course, I remember his name, and I could search him at any point, but I didn't. I really suppressed the memory up until I was getting called from these detectives.
I
Um,
because I that's the piece that I was like, well, then just imagine if you don't have any contact with them and you're suppressing that, so people are calling you and you're seeing his face now. Just wondering when did you find out about him again?
so this is when I found out about him again. I think it was okay. So after Detective called the year he was being released from jail, I didn't even know he was in jail. I didn't even know, like, so many girls like came forward. I didn't know, like, this was blasted on the media. I didn't know anything. I was truly, like, really just trying to, I was just focusing on myself. I felt that that was all I could do. And I was like, the police will handle it. But then once detective called me, she then stated there was 20 something girls now involved. And my heart dropped. And I was like, oh my gosh, the number just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Had I not, been calling up the detectives consistently, had I not been so focused on myself, like really in the back, or like, really pressing the police department to put him away, all these girls wouldn't have had to get hurt and go through the trauma that I also had to go through. And not that like I'm responsible, because I know I'm not. It's just I felt like I could have somehow helped that, as far as, being really consistent with the detectives and the police, asking for updates and all of that. So when she told me that, I really felt, um stop.
She's like, listen, she needs attention. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I really felt like I had to do something about that. Like I was just like, oh no, that's not okay. Jamie, you need to really dial in and make sure, like, justice is going to be served. You had a rape kit done. What, like, why? I'm just like, I didn't ask her questions because I'm just still shocked on the phone, like, what? But after the phone call, that's when I was like, okay, let's look on the internet. And at the time, I don't think it was that blasted yet. I don't remember what I just remember seeing that, yeah, he was in jail. And then I don't even think I saw the part where he was released yet. I don't think. I'm not sure, because I think she called me right before it happened. But anyways, I tuned back out and was living my life again until I just had this sudden urge to check on it again. And so I looked him up again, and then everything was just blasted. Like, all I saw was, of course, the same faces that pop up when you look it up. And I'm thinking, what's been going on here? I've been living under a rock, but really I just had to take care of myself. Um, and I was just really disappointed in seeing how many girls, had to endure all this pain and trauma. And then I knew, I'm like, why am I not part of this trial? And then I started asking just questions. I'm like, I don't understand, because it seemed as if something already started. But I was like, why didn't I get called back? And Sydney is the face of, like, when you look it up, I think like her and like a few other people, their names are like highlighted. And I just remember being like, okay, just reach out to her and see, and kind of get information and see like where I can go, and or like what's going on, because this is the media. But maybe, I don't know, because you know how the media could spin stuff.
Right. You had to be very careful who you contacted. Shout out to Cindy, by the way, because she's been very helpful to us as well. Man, that girl, I have a lot of respect for her. So shout out
Yeah,
to her.
too. she's been through a hell of a lot, especially with like the media aspect too. But
Were you contacted by media? Were you at all harassed? Like, I know when you and I had contact, you were very like, I want to remain anonymous. Da, da, da. And I said, hey, man, I don't even think I really asked a whole lot of questions of you because of, your, I wasn't really sure too much of your story. I just knew that you were a victim of what had happened.
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember stating I wanted to be anonymous. Maybe I did, but that was just for this. Oh, I went through a very paranoid time. I was in a very paranoid state of mind. Um, because this man was facing life in prison, I was petrified and so scared that like my family, and by that like me and my dogs, are going to be compromised because I was holding the most substantial evidence, like, or one of the most substantial evidence as far as like the rape kit, the photos, matching DNA. Like, it was so crucial for me to be up there, and every female on this case is just as important. Unfortunately, when it comes to like the criminal court, they have to have outstanding evidence in order to put them away, or for them to, or for justice to be served. Trial can like linger and like, extend and keep going, or it's really sad how there are some girls that don't get justice because they don't have outstanding evidence.